hour.
Yeah.
The yappy hour.
Yeah.
That's when I met Sparrow and fell in love.
Yeah.
But any questions, feedback for Jamie?
Uh-oh.
Are you using crowdsourcing for your fundraising?
We have tried it a little bit, but I don't know. It's really hard. I think oftentimes what works for Motley Zoo is very different than what works for a different organization. So sometimes we try the strategies that other charities do, and they don't necessarily work for us. So we kind of find a niche and we kind of go with it. But the crowdsourcing, I suppose you have to have a very specific goal and a very specific thing. And right now we don't have that. We just need to increase general donations, and it's harder to illustrate that in a crowdfunding aspect. So.
Are you leveraging like the people that are adopting and volunteering to like share on social media, like marketing, let's say something like crowdsourcing?
Yes, we have about 20,000 people on our Facebook page, and they are pretty active about it. Obviously, there's never enough people to do all the jobs in a charity, and so we could really improve a lot in terms of our social media strategy. But yes, that is one of the main ways we do reach people. Our newsletter doesn't have a very good open rate. We're going to try texting the newsletter, things like that. So, but it's because people are on social media and they're seeing what we're doing every day. I think they don't really care maybe what the newsletter says because they already know a lot of what's happening based on the social media. So that's a big thing for us.
I loved what you said about, I think I love all of the things that you're doing. I think it's awesome.
Thank you.
But I specifically loved what you said about how, what makes you different from shelters. And I would have liked to have had that. I think it was really subtle the way you talked about that. And I think that, I don't know what your intention is with other presentations like this or what have you, but I think that could be played up more,
Sure.
right? And making it even more clear that the impact that you're able to have, right? Like, 'cause I think that to me is a big part of your selling point, right? And it just, if I wasn't listening carefully, I could have lost it.
Okay.
So I would just encourage you to talk more about that, because I think you've got something really awesome here.
Sure. Thank you. Yeah, we are very different than even any other rescue. No one's really done what we do. And so I see a lot of other rescues following what we do, which is really awesome. And it's helping animals get adopted, but we're just not afraid to try things, and we try the weirdest things. So, I have a dream that I bring animals to meet a band, and then I really do that.
Yeah.
I wake up and I'm laughing, and then I'm like, hey, I'm going to do that. And that's become a thing that we've been known for all over the world, that now other rescues and shelters are copying, bringing animals to meet musicians backstage, things like that. So yeah, we're just not afraid to do things. So I would like to illustrate that even more so.
As far as presentations, I think too, because you're kind of gearing everybody up to what can we be doing,
Sure.
and to maybe kind of incentivize us as why we should be acting at all.
Okay.
Just kind of giving a little bit of background to how many animals don't have phones, what does that scene kind of look like?
Sure.
Because, yeah, they're so cute, and all animals have phones and we want to support your mission, but what is the severity of the issue that you're seeing?
It's severe.
Mm-hmm.
So I think what you're doing is great. What I would do with the where you went over what people can do is figure out who your audience is and what your really big main need is, and really focus on that, because there's so many things that you listed that I think what you really need can kind of get lost in that.
Sure.
So if it's money, then I would focus more on some of the issues around that.
Okay.
Then some of the other things saying, oh, you can also do this, but really focus on that, because there's so many things there that I just don't want what you really need to get lost in.
Okay.
I would say that she was just presenting her story. She has to give you all the things set as far as the experience of the organization.
Yeah, I'd just say
To get
like
you
a call
some
for action.
understanding.
Yeah, Jamie, you've been around for 10 years now?
Mm-hmm. And I do tailor the slide deck a little bit based on different audiences, but here I really was trying to be very general, because I didn't know what I was going to come across here, and whether or not I should specify. And I also want to make sure people have options, because people instantly, when you say give money, then they're like, oh, no, cannabis. And so then there needs to be some options, but maybe I could just do some pictures or list just some things that not extra slides.
Well, I was just gonna ask, how are you generating that $2,500 a month? Like, what's been working for you as we think about maybe how to help you think of other ways to get more people?
Sure. It's definitely people sharing, saying like, I get $5 a month, and if 5 of my friends get $5, and if 5 of those friends get $5, all of a sudden we have the vet bills for an animal. Like it's so simple, really, but it's so hard to get people just to even give $5. And people would rather give $25 once than $5 monthly, and I'm not really sure why. But yeah, it's that, for whatever reason, it's the same steps, the same everything to do the one-time donation than to do the monthly, but figuring out how to reach people in that plea for the monthly. I love when people give $25. I love when people give $1,000, but I would love if they just gave $10 a month or $5 a month. So yeah, I don't know. There's a little bit to be. It's trial and error, and we do a lot of that. And I do try and aim different, the same campaign, but different strategies to reach different audiences. So, did that answer?
One thing to feed off what Katie was saying that I loved about what you said was, we're not like what's the lady that does all the sad commercials?
Oh,
Sarah
Sarah
McLachlan.
McLachlan.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we try to make animal adoption and animal fostering fun.
Yeah.
Right. Your name provokes that. Your brand provokes that. And I think that got lost over time.
Mhm.
Like you are fun. You are exciting, and you can push that through your whole presentation to make sure it's consistent.
Yeah.
But one thing from a fundraising side that I thought was really great about you is that you are generating revenue, right? There's not many nonprofits out there that actually generate their own revenue, and then there's that one little gap between your $15,000 a month in expenses and the revenue that you're already generating. And I think that by playing that up, that you're already putting your own effort ahead. You're not just saying, hey, you guys fund this thing.
Right,
You're
yeah.
saying we're already doing this work, and then there's this gap, and this gap could be filled by you doing blank,
Sure.
right? And being really specific about how you're tying what you're already doing into what you need from others.
That is a good point.
I just wanted to give some positive feedback and say that I loved the fact that you touched on the accessibility of help, not only in sharing information, that $5 a month counts, and even that just now saying that and a donation on a monthly basis is more impactful than a single donation. I mean, obviously money is money, so you love it in all forms. But the other portion that I liked was that fostering is accessible. I'm a accidental foster parent of a dog right now. So I think that's really important too. So I really enjoyed that part of your presentation.
Thank you.
Last question.
Sorry.
Me? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just so right now there's that gap between what you're generating and what you need. I was just thinking like maybe there are other ways to generate more revenue rather than like you have some business. Maybe there's room there to do one or two other things. I thought of like maybe like a YouTube channel, like that's a long-term play, but people watch like the cat videos own YouTube, right? So
Yeah.
that can eventually generate revenue. And then on top of that, there's some people aren't interested in adopting an animal, but if you put a price tag on it, suddenly it's a pet store, and then they'll go buy your animal, and like sometimes charging actually increases your reach.
Yeah, we do.
You do.
We call it an adoption donation, but yeah, and it offsets the vet care, but most of the time we've spent 3 times as much on those animals.
Yeah.
Or showcasing your first Women Cups organizer that presented with your puppy in.
Yeah.
It's a national organization. I'll give you one more.
Along those lines, to generate revenue, have you tried bringing, since your brand is fun, bringing the pets to like birthday parties for kids, schools?
We do. Yep.
There's
Yeah, we call it the pop-up puppy party, and actually we did 2 this weekend, and then we do that for corporate things. So every year we have a Microsoft team that brings us in, and that can generate a few $1,000s in an hour. But usually it's a set rate for an hour or 2 hours, and then Because yeah, we work for free, but the animals can't. The animals have to be doing something to earn money for their vet care. So so we do that. And yeah, and then we have a Motley Zoo beer that just came out. So that's something that you can actually buy in
beer.
Beer.
Oh.
50 different locations. Postdoc Brewing does the beer, and so yeah, so you go to Whole Foods or Central Markets or some of the restaurants and bottle shops, and you'll see our beer.
Awesome.
So I mean, it's as broad as that we're really trying different things because we can't rely on solely on donations, so we can continue to make our own funding.
Okay. What can a 1 Million Cups community do for you, Jamie?
Well, I guess sharing our message would be great. You know, if you've never heard of us, and you know, just going home and saying, hey, to your friends on Facebook or whatever, just like check this community out, check out this organization. Donating monthly would be really helpful. That consistency is really, really important to any charity, but especially when we're a small team, we really do fall down on having that YouTube channel that has those videos. I mean, we have the same stories that go viral all the time. We have those stories, but we didn't capture that because we're so busy just doing what we're doing in a day that we don't have the capacity to do that. So people who can do social media, people who can amp up our videos, amp up things like that, that's really helpful. But in general, if you want to get involved, that's amazing. If you know people who might want to donate, there's so many ways, but that's why I was very general. I can't.
I think that's the feedback for you today.
Oh yeah, I know.
One thing.
One thing.
What's the one thing?
I
think you're doing great with the animals just in general. So
thanks.
That's incredible. So thank you for presenting.
Thank you.
I'll make this quick because I run a tight ship at 10 o'clock. We're all done. If you haven't done these things, please go ahead and download the app. Like us on social media. Is that the thing? I'm terrible at social media, so we don't want to do that. Every Wednesday, I mean, look at this crowd. 1 Million Cups community is built on this audience, period. So if this is your second, your third, your fourth, your 10th, your 30th time, this is what it's all about. Start your Wednesday with us and support entrepreneurs like Israel and Jamie as they're attempting to change the world through the businesses that they're attempting to start. All right. So thank you for coming. If you don't have all the answers, or if you do have all the answers and you feel like you know exactly what you're doing, this is not the place for you. All right. Go somewhere else. We want people that are open and available for feedback. Right. You take the feedback, you absorb it, you spit it back out if you don't want it. But this is a great place for that. Right. We're here to help. We provide coaching. Me and Israel sat down for 2 hours of coaching just to help him get to where he was today. Genuine feedback, as you saw today, and audience that cares, right? Who here cares about entrepreneurs and early? Great. Up next week we'll have Revolution Agriculture presenting. We may have one more. That's not confirmed yet. But there is one thing I did want to mention. Last week I mentioned Seed Spot, 2-day launch camp that I'm launching here in Seattle. If you are an impact-driven entrepreneur and you're looking to start an idea from nothing and turn it into something, or you have it already together, let me know. We'll be doing that boot camp on July 19th and 20th. And that's another thing that I brought here to the city because of the grassroots ecosystem and just helping early stage entrepreneurs get started and start to impact the world. All right. Thank you for coming. Have a great rest of your week. I'll see you next week.